Hello everyone and welcome back to another tutorial video and to tutorial number 12. Where we're going to cover the taxi-in and the shutdown of the aircraft. So first a disclaimer, I'm not a real-world pilot, so everything might not be 100% correct, but it should be good enough for a realistic flight inside the simulator. So, we just have vacated the runway and we have set up the aircraft after landing. So we're going to taxi for a taxi route now. First we're going to taxi down by Bravo and to normally we're going to taxi up here, so then we're going to taxi by Bravo, left on Charlie, and going to hold runway 30. That's what we can begin with. Turn the taxi lights, raise the brakes, and set thrust. So all the same restrictions is going to be applied when you're taxiing in as well on the speeds. 15 on aprons, 10 in turns, 30 on the straight taxiway, and 50 on the runway. So around 10 knots. Also going to check for any other traffic, but can't see anything. There you go, and now we can taxi up to 30 knots. So we're going to take a left turn at Charlie, so that's going to be the first accessible left turn here. So we should try not to increase any speed now, that is unnecessary. And for our gate today, so we're going to taxi to stand Alpha 6 today. Just going to prepare that, so we get some ground crew there. So again, confirm no traffic on the right and confirm no traffic on the left. So we're going to take a left turn here. So, when we're approaching the runway here, it is an active runway, so that means we're going to turn on the strobe light when we are crossing the runway. So, when we're crossing, going to turn that on, taxi over, and we're not going to turn it off before we are sure that the entire aircraft is past the holding position. Not just the cockpit, but the entire aircraft. Also in the night, sometimes pilots or many uses the landing lights, then just use the fixed lights. This is to increase visibility for other aircraft, so they can easier see you. And also because the runway isn't that very lit up like the taxiway, it's also easier to see what is happening on the taxiway. But it is daylight, so we're not going to do that. So we're approaching the runway now. We can turn on the strobe light, and now we're going to cross. So we can look into our parking stat chart here. So after we are crossed here, we're going to continue on Alpha. Let's go to take a right turn here, and then down via Zulu and Lima to our stand. Like always, you're going to check if there is anyone on final. Currently it wasn't, so that was good. Again, check if anything is happening on the right or the left. And when the entire aircraft are crossed, we're going to turn off the strobe lights, and if you have turned on the landing lights, you're also going to turn them off. So, when you're taxiing into the gate, Norwegian has a procedure. You don't need to do it every time, but they normally shut down engine number 2 before taxiing into stand. So basically what you're going to do, you're just going to shut down the engine, and you're going to confirm that the source light is illuminating up on the right generator. And yes, and aircraft is briefly going to get out of power in like 2 seconds, 1 second. So we are going to lose the nose wheel steering for a second, so just a reminder of that. If I go to back taxi to a stand, especially with Norwegian here in the Scandinavian countries, they normally let the engine stay and wait for the external power to turn on. They turn on the external power, and then they shut down the last engine. They do not turn on the APU. It seems like they're doing that mostly in Scandinavian countries. I'm not sure how they are planning it or anything like that. But I normally just do that in Norway and Copenhagen and Sweden. Otherwise, I'm turning on the APU. So if you're turning on the APU, you should turn it on maybe half a minute before you're taxiing to stand, so probably here. And then when you arrive at the stand, it should be on, so just turn on the generator and then shut off your engines. So Alpha 6 is going to be one of the stands right here. You can see some ground vehicles there. So what we can do now, we can shut down engine number 2. That was not a shutdown, that was number 2. So note that now we have just one remaining engine, so we need extra thrust to actually move the aircraft. There you go, and we got the source light off. Then we can taxi into the stand, and when you're taxiing in, you also got to turn off the taxi lights, so you don't blend the ground crew. And when you're taxiing in, you should be out around 5 knots or less. That is a pretty good taxi speed into the stand. And we are generally stopped, so just add a little bit first. Try to not advance at above 40% since you're on the stand. That should give you enough power, even on one engine, to park. Exactly what I thought. I thought this was definitely too far. So yes. So, if you have turned on the APU, you're going to turn on both generators now and shut down the remaining engine. So then that's going to be 2 blue. Got these 2 lights going to be blue. And 1 red for the park brake, and then engine's dead. That's a pretty good way to remember it. If you are going to do what I'm going to do now, wait for the park external power. Go to set the chocks. Request external power. Wait for that to get ready. There you go. You turn it on. There you go. We have got 2 blue, 1 red. Engine's dead. So when you're shutting down the engine, if you have had external power on, you're going to turn all the fuel pumps off. If you have your APU running, you're not going to turn off the aft left fuel pump. You're going to turn off the hydraulic pumps. Probe it if they are not. If you forgot to turn off the probe it, for example, like I normally do, turn it off here. When the N1 and N2 is passing 20%, like it have done, you can turn off the anti-collision light. You can turn off the seatbelts. Isolation can go to open. Go down here, and the transponder should go to standby. And when you have got external power available, when you have used the APU, and you turn off the APU, And the fuel pump is still going to be on until you can see that the needle have begun to go down. Then you can turn off the fuel pump. And that's going to take a couple of seconds. You're also going to turn off the flight directors. And then you're going to run the shutdown checklist. So, fuel pumps, off, probe heat, off, hard oil panel, set, flaps, up, no light, parker brake, set, engine start levers, cut off, weather radar, off, and technical log are complete. So that is the shutdown checklist. So if you're going to fly more sectors or if you're going to fly more with this aircraft after this, or another crew is going to take over, then you're just going to leave the aircraft as it is now. But if this was the last flight for the day, and you're going to shut down the aircraft, then you're going to do the following. Begin at the top here. You can turn off the IRS and the yaw damper should pop. There you go. Continue down, make sure that fuel pump's off. You are going to turn off the emergency exit lights. The ignition can still be at the same place. Window heat, that's going to be turned on. Sorry, off. Control panel is still going to be off. If you are going to turn around, you should turn on the voice recorder. If you're not going to be able to turn around, just leave it off. Packs should be turned off. And that is basically it for that. And then you are going to run your secure checklist. So secure checklist, IRSs, off, emergency exit lights, off, window heat, off, packs, off, APU, GPU, then turn that off, and battery off. And there you go, now we have shut down the aircraft. So I hope that you have enjoyed this little tutorial series, and if you have any questions, you can ask in the comments or you can ask in a live stream if I'm streaming, and I'm going to try to help you as best I can with the problem or the question you have. If you want me to make some tutorials on other things with the 77, please let me know, and I'm going to probably do it. Depends what it is. But yeah, like I said, I hope that you have enjoyed and hope to see you again on a future live stream. So have a good one. Bye bye.